Alright, hello Twitch and YouTube. Welcome to my here again. This is the second unit spotlight video, and this is our featured little girl Ruby. She's a little cute chicken on top of her head. So yeah, Ruby has been fantastic for me in the PvP arena battles as well. I mainly use her because she's a really good counter for Kayn for me. Solves a lot of problems, but also has her downsides too. So why don't we get started on her her skills. So her first skill is a 100% damage skill with 40% chance to decrease skill 2's cooldown by 1 turn. And second skill is 220% single target damage with 70% chance of reducing cooldown by 1 turn. So you can see already that the skill cooldown is at 3. So between 1 and 2, you're gonna have a lot of room to decrease the skill cooldown of your second skill. And then again, your ultimate is a huge nuke that does 300% damage. And yeah, her passive, her leadership skill is wind allies gets 60% damage boost if the party has 5 or more units. So I can see a good wind mono wind team, but I think we need more units to make it happen as of now, whereas the Japanese versions, they have a lot of collab units, so they can do and have a lot more choices. And next we have her innate skill, which is 80% chance to remove defense and attack buffs at the start of the turn. So this skill is actually really good. I would argue that it's better than the Japanese version. Well, actually, okay, so this is the difference. Okay, in the Japanese version, it's 100% chance to remove buffs from attackers and defender type enemies, whereas here it's 80% chance to remove all defense and attack buffs from all enemies at the start of the turn. So you have a less reliable way of dealing with Kayn with this, but now you're able to remove everything from all enemy units. So I think it's a fair trade, and it gives Ruby a bit more room to kind of be a general good unit. And then her passive is 50% chance to decrease all skill cooldown by 1 when you're attacked, and restores 20% HP when your cooldown gets reduced. So this is again a super fantastic unit, and her level 60 skill gets her the sustainability that she needs. But now here is the kind of the downside, which I'll talk about later with this heal. Okay, so if we go to the rune section, I gave her, I think, I tried to build, yeah, I have a 2-set counterattack and a 4-set attack increase, mainly because I use her as a kind of a burst damage, because I want her attack to be as high as possible when it's her turn, either to you know, to burst down a Deimos or Karen, because those two top healers slash rezzers are water type and takes increased damage from Ruby, or I want her to hit hard on Kayn when it's her turn. Right, so the 20% attack increase and the 20% attack increase for Ruby is pretty good in my opinion. And for the 2-set, I had some decent-ish revenge runes. The thought process behind this was that if I get my Ruby to counterattack, then she can trigger her cooldown with her S1, right? So S1 attacks, she gets her cooldown reduced, and cooldown reduced also triggers her passive, which gives her a 20% HP heal. So that was the idea for synergy behind it. I could see a 3-set counterattack maybe, but I wanted the attack because I wanted her huge burst in dealing with some of the key units I faced in arena. And if we look at her talent, I went with attack talent, damage dealt increase talent, and I think I'll go with defense, or I might even go with burn, defense or burn, depending on if I want to be aggressive or defensive. And I went with grudge for the 3rd skill, because I didn't really need her to be tankier in my opinion, just due to the fact that she can heal 20% when she gets her cooldown reduced, so that's from getting attacked or using her skill. So I went with even more potential damage. And I didn't choose her talent for this one yet, but I'm thinking either penetration or critical chance. And of course, the reason why I didn't choose the later talents is because I want to push the 60 talents for my key units first. So who does Ruby go well with? Again, I run Ruby, and sometimes when Ruby is CC'd, it's a pretty big problem. For example, Kayn can disable Ruby's heal, or Ruby can get stunned, and then she won't counterattack. So I run a Deimos to kind of give Ruby the attack bonus as well as immunity to abnormal stats. Otherwise, you can probably run healers. Just keep your Ruby alive because she's a bit squishy. And what counters Ruby? So Ruby is a green grass type or wind type. So fire units will be really good against her. So like here, for example, Nemesis and burst damage can kill Ruby fast if Ruby doesn't get the heal off. And sometimes I run into control. I know one person runs Mina still a lot in the arena, and then Mina can charm the Ruby, and Ruby just stands there looking. But overall, I think Ruby is a really good unit. Even though her passive kind of got nerfed and less of a counter to Kayn, she still is doing really, really well in arena for me. So yeah, that's my Ruby review.